The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Star Wars: A Plague of Shadows. Before I get into it, let me give my players a chance to introduce themselves.
I am Callie Salvo. I'm playing Avex Fear, he, him.
I am Judy Von Esch, and I'm playing Norma Bay Mar.
I am the Ravenous Archon. My name is Will. I'll be your storyteller this evening. As you can see, we are short a couple of players. We are unfortunately dealing with the ramifications of the Writers Guild and SAG-AFTRA strike. As it is a topic of the times, I will say that the content that we're streaming, although it is Star Wars and it is in the universe of the Disney-owned kind of property, we are not dealing with Disney in any way, shape, or form. So we are not crossing any picket lines by doing this. Most of us are, if not all of us, have donated our time to produce this, and even with the biddies that we get from generous viewers, it's a coffee here or there. It's not making rent. So just be aware that there's a lot of love that goes into the show. There's a lot of attention to detail. And although that we are playing in the sandbox of what is Star Wars, we are not furthering the agenda of any of the AMPTP studios, Disney included. And we stand in solidarity with the Writers Guild and the Screen Actors Guild. So with that being said, last episode, we had Kiltani Scour assigned to your group. We saw the exchange from her Padawan being given over to Arca Jeth, the Jedi Master. You found out that there was a riot at the rig. We had Avix describe what was his previous owner, as that is who Tharic turned out to be. They asked about the Shattered Hand and what connections they might have. They got a lot of song and dance, and they were offered a very nefarious deal that none of the group were excited to take, and ended up not taking it. And on the way out, they saw that a bunch of the escaped inmates had forced themselves onto the Sunrise Crescent, trying to find a way out. And in their hurry to leave, they opened up the space shield while people were still kind of running around, and a lot of innocent lives were lost. Not innocent, but a lot of living people were now unalived. They we left off with them returning to Onderon to find out where Exarchun and to deliver the information that they have to find out where Exarchun went to, where the Jedi have gone. And as they arrived back on Onderon and they saw that the moon of Duxon was pushing ever closer, they could feel darkness and coldness kind of bubbling around inside the walled city of Isis, as well as on the moon itself. And we're going to pick up with you guys landing just outside of Isis. The light side explorer is nowhere to be found. Archijeth is taken off. And as the ship kind of settles in, you can already hear that people are leaving the ship. We find Nora and Avix in the cockpit. What is the avenue that you wish to go down?
Good question.
Yeah.
Nora did want to say something to everyone, but now it seems kind of mute because the two people that she needed to say to kind of exited the ship, and that's fine. She's going to kind of just tilt her head to Avex going, I agree with what you did. I hold nothing against you on that. They chose to get on here. And we picked up a whole lot of stuff that he threw down.
I admit I made a mistake with that. I don't feel terrible about it, but
Fair.
I wanted to get out of there. I
wanted
didn't
them off my
realize what
ship.
I was doing when I did that, but I wanted to get out of there. And, there were consequences to that, but I'd still rather be out of there. We needed to be out of there to be safe.
Yeah. Because
that said, I don't know where we need to go now. We were pursuing information about the Shattered Hand. We didn't get it.
Well,
we're
that's
trying to
because
figure out what's happening here.
we weren't going to get it.
I'm not sure where to go next.
We weren't going to get it anyhow. He wasn't going to give it to us.
Oh, no, of course not.
The one I will reiterate, the one we had to go and see was the hut.
Yeah, I think.
But
you're
here's the bullshit of all this. The Jedi were not going to give us anything that we could turn around and offer for trade, and that was all going to be on us.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying, "Go do this." It didn't work. It didn't work with Ven's dad because he got killed, and then we got stuck on Coruscant for 6 months. We should have gone to a hut, cut a deal, and gotten the information. But it is what it is. We can't lament anymore.
Yep, you're right.
So where do we go from here? I'm not sure. Because clearly the people that were supposed to give us the information are no longer here.
Yeah. Well, I would say we should go to the hut, but it seems like something's going on in the city. We both felt it. I feel like we should at least check out first before we leave, again, looking for the hut.
Look, I'm not looking for anything. I'm going to tell you now. I'm cutting my losses. We've lost enough on this deal. We've lost enough on what's going on. I'm not going to recuperate all the money that we've lost in the past, year? It's breadcrumbs to be sure. This place has got enough dark side energy in it that my hair could be white.
I understand, Captain. I mean, when I found you, I didn't have anything. I'd been wandering the stars.
And
So
you always have a place here. So I don't care what your former fuckhead master said.
I understand. I would feel something if we left and there was no
Sure.
one here, and
If you
things
wanna-
happened.
Things are going to happen. You felt the moon. There's nothing you and I can exactly do. And the ones that could do something fucked off. So if you want to take a spin around, that's fine. But the moment shit happens, we got to get out of here. Take as many people as we can. If we can save people, fine. I'm for that.
Let's see. You know what? I think that makes sense. Let's see if we can get people off, get people safe. Because whatever's going in that city feels bad.
Oh, yeah. The worst part is that the Jedi were supposed to do shit with the Queen.
Yeah.
And who only knows what poster boy Jedi man is doing.
Mhm.
Synthracia got her vision, and I don't know where the fuck all that shit is. Don't ask
Sounded
me.
like here. I mean, I could
Yeah,
be wrong. It's her vision.
but he's in a
We
jungle.
Can't see what she saw. True.
He's
Sorry. Other vision.
Yeah. Oh no. I feel the moon pulling, and I'm sure there's a whole bunch of people ready to jump from that moon to here. I do not want to be here when that happens.
To be fair,
So-
we should probably ask Kiltani where she wants us to drop her off or what she wants us to do with her. Because we
let's
don't
let-
want to just drag her along, I think.
She has a choice, and that's fine. I have no problem with that.
If you breach the subject, you see that her and Synthracia were already packing things up, and she'll turn to you. I was going to take my family member and explore some of the city to show her the differences between her way of communing with the Force and the Jedi way. There's much darkness here suddenly.
And that's what we're going to look around the city and see what's up. But I'm looking to get the fuck out and take as many people as we can with if they want to come out. Do
Yulik
you
and
wanna
Kay
stay with us or
Kaldroma
go?
should be with the royal procession.
How do you know that?
That is their assignment. Master Jeff was personally overseeing their whole negotiations with the Beast Riders.
No,
Maybe we should go talk to them.
It's been 6 months. I don't know what the hell's been going on. I would hope in 6 months they came to a negotiation.
Well, they were here when we got back after the 6 months, and then Arca Jeff left. But I'd been assuming the twins went with him. But if the twins are still here, maybe we can find out from them.
If you want to stay here, if you want to go around the city, and if you want to bolt, you got a place here.
Just appreciate it.
We'll find out what's going on. But I got a really bad feeling about this. And when I've got a bad feeling about it, this is not good.
I understand. And
Because-
she reaches out her hand to you. This is just always trust in the Force. That's all we
Fair.
can do as Jedi.
But my mom always told me that the Force is also a gut reaction, and trust your instincts. The Force will
It's
guide
just
you in that.
another name for the Force.
Well, I trust my instincts, and I'm just telling you, it's not good. Don't stay too long. She'll give her a communicator. You need something, call.
Hmm.
But we're gonna bounce as soon as we find out what's up.
I understand. And both of them go down the ramp.
Why do I have a bad feeling that was a goodbye?
On the table of the communal area, you'll see that Nev has left his communicator.
Yeah, Vex, what's going on?
He was in a lot of pain.
No shit. I know.
We showed up at Ossus together for that first trip. We'll keep on. Let's go see
As
what the
always.
twins need. If there's anything we can do that will help get people safe away from here.
You got a communicator in case we get
Yep.
split up? All right. Remember, trying to figure shit out. What people have and don't.
Yes, Captain.
Thank you.
And you will hear the soft robotic taps of Prague as she comes around. Shall I stay with the ship?
Yes, lock it up until you hear from either one of us.
Understood.
You know the passcode.
And you see her kind of standing at the top of the ramp as both of you descend, and the metal closes with a soft thud. The air of Onderon has turned arid. There's a huge difference. You can taste almost the ionization as these two gravitational forces are coming into contact with each other. And the moon is just incredibly close. If you were not aware of its strange orbit, you would almost be afraid of how close it is and how close it is going to get. And you can see that there's a beast rider or two that is daring the jump. And the first one that does it, there's a moment where you see him kind of holding on to his face and the lower part of his mouth. And it's almost like there's too much of a thinness in the atmospheres yet for them to safely cross en masse. But he comes down, he swoops by you and out towards the city.
The fuck?
I've been around the galaxy for a while, and I've never seen anything like that, Captain.
Let's hustle. We don't got time.
Let's head to the palace. If we see anyone along the way who looks like they want to get out or need help, we can help them.
All right, I'm good.
Yep. As you make your way through the streets, it's a typical day. Like this doesn't look like anything out of the ordinary. A lot of the people are still going through their day-to-day business. Trade is happening. People are discussing different parts of their society and things like that. What they did during the day, what they did the night before, things like that. How the hunts are going. When you get to the palace, you'll see that in the communal area, in the kind of open air courtyard, there's a fountain, and sitting kind of looking through a data pad is KoFi, and off to the side, lightsaber off, but still kind of motioning his katas, is Ulik KoFi. And as he sees you approach, you see him quickly clip his lightsaber back to his belt, and he goes over, taps the back of the data pad so it kind of shoots up into Kay's face, and he sits up and looks in your direction, and both of them kind of come over. Oh, Nora, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything all right? Are you guys okay? Where's the rest of your crew?
They bounced.
We
Zach?
didn't get the information we were looking for at the rig on the Shattered.
We did get some information though.
We did get some.
What'd you get?
The Huts are running them. That wasn't hard to find out. He wanted us to take criminals here so they could get retribution for those that locked him up there. He's taken over the entire thing.
Oh.
Peacefully.
Boga has slowly been infiltrating the echelons of the guards. It's kind of set us back.
I'll tell you what. What we had to get those people out of my ship. Not fun.
What people?
Criminals.
Mm,
They took over the ship while we were going in talking to Boga.
not
Oh.
Boga. Boga's lieutenant.
Yeah.
Huh. You don't look worse for wear. I assume that it wasn't a difficult fight.
It was just flicking a lightsaber and telling them to get off my fucking ship.
Okay.
They left. Let's just say they're not coming back.
You go anywhere near there, be careful. They have someone who can
Pheromones are the
influence
key.
you.
Noted.
He wanted us to take people here. I declined. He did a little bit more showboating and a whole bunch of other shit. Just talked empty air. And pretty much it was a waste.
Okay.
It is what it is. We came back here and massive wave of dark force energy. That was fun to go through.
Yeah, it's been building up. We've been worried about the royal family, but for protective purposes, they've kind of hunkered down inside the palace. So Kay and I have been out here just waiting for something to happen, but it's been pretty quiet, really.
Yeah, well, there was something that actually flew over us while we were coming here.
Oh,
I have a
yes.
feeling-
There's been some Beast Rider activity recently.
Look, shit's gonna go down. I can feel it. I'm sure you guys can too.
Yeah, there's something on the horizon, but can't worry about the future.
No, isn't that the present?
When it happens, it'll happen. It'll be the present, but worrying about the past is the same as worrying about the future. Things have happened and things will happen.
I know, but I'm planning like for the next couple hours, as in it is my present. It's not feeling good. There's some bad juju here. If we can take some people up and leave,
They don't seem to want to leave, but
which is weird.
Yeah, no. This is if you're concerned about the moon, this is a natural occurrence. It comes pretty close to
Okay.
Onderon.
So Synthracia had this whole vision about people jumping from the moon here, bad dark side energy coming in and taking over this planet.
I mean,
and now the moon is close, and dark side energy coming from the moon and suffusing the city.
the thing with Onderon is that until Queen Amanoa and her husband took over, this was a planet that had been used by Sith. This is the first time in its entire lineage that Onderon has chosen to step out of the darkness and into the light. We knew there were issues here, but we aren't going to let that kind of hinder us. We have to show the Queen and her husband that the Jedi are stronger than any Sith history or machinations could even hope to be. And we're dealing with centuries of Sith interference with these people. Like we have to go slow. That's what Master Jeth says to us.
Okay, well, I've been told jack and shit about any of this, really. I've been just told, go here, go there, do this, find that information. That's all I've been told.
Well, you can't get mad at us for that.
I'm not mad at you at all.
Okay, I'm just you weren't raised a Jedi, so you don't. It's not a big surprise that you're not privy to our information. Like up until Coruscant, you were just some pilot to us.
To you, not to my mother. I was raised as a Padawan to her until she died.
And then you didn't continue your training.
let's just say that was stopped by a certain entity.
No. You can be mad at them then.
I'm not mad at anyone.
Okay.
I've let go of the past. It is what it is. I am frustrated at the now.
I mean, it sounds like you're holding on to frustrations from the past. That's all.
No, I've let that go.
Okay.
That whole 6 months in Coruscant, yeah, I went and got therapy.
Okay. That's good.
Therapy, training, and a whole bunch of other shit. This is me being alarmed, worried, concerned, and going, here's the now. The soon-to-be future now is here, and there's a whole lot of shit that's telling me bad juju, grab people and run.
I mean, sure, there is a sense of foreboding, but if we worry about every thing that might be will never be in the present for what is happening, that's just what Master Jeth has taught us.
Well, the Force has told me differently in my life. Survival instincts. Instincts in itself is the Force speaking to us, is it not?
That's what some of the masters say, yeah.
So who am I to go against a master that always tells me to trust my instincts? And then be told not to trust my instincts? It's kind of convoluted, isn't it?
I mean, when you put it like that, yeah.
So do I trust my instincts and do what I think the Force wants me to? Or do I listen to what somebody's agenda is that hasn't been made known?
Who are you going to take though? Like who are you going to prioritize? Like how do you decide that?
I don't.
Nobody wants to leave. This is their home. Isis is used to this kind of thing. This happens every year.
If that's
Does
what
the
they
dark
wish.
energy happen every year?
Yeah.
Well, that I don't know. I imagine that the dark side must have been more prevalent before Queen Amanoa took over. I mean, even her husband's direct descendants were followers of the Sith. Like some of the, even here in the palace, we've seen architecture and artwork that depicts Sith stories. Like this is a people that have lived in the shadow of the dark side so long that we can't barrel into their lives holding up the lantern of the light side, because we might blind them. We might hurt them more than help them.
Well, here's the thing. If we can't help them, we can at least help those that understand and know. And if people want to go, people will go. If they want to stay, they want to stay. If this is something natural to them, it's natural to them, but it's not natural to us. If I jump and we hang on, we watch what's going on, we can swoop down. That's not a problem. I don't mind being in orbit. But I got a bad feeling about this. A really bad feeling.
Sure.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But we'll be right there to help if we need to.
Master Jeth assigned us to protect the queen in her procession. So Kay and I will stay here if that works with you.
Master Jeth had to leave, I assume.
Yes. He took your gunslinger friend back to Ossus.
Okay. It's the captain's ship. We go where she wants. And she doesn't want to be here. And I can understand why. Is there anything we can do for you as we leave?
No, we have what we need. The guards have been kind enough to allow us access to the kitchen. We have guest quarters.
Are there messages you need sent back?
No. If Master Jeth needs to get to us, he is strong enough with the Force that he can give us sensations and emotions and let us know where his head is at.
Is there a starport in the city?
No.
Someplace where people would be looking to leave?
No, unfortunately, this whole planet is still stuck pre space travel.
What about people who would be looking to leave the city to head elsewhere on the planet?
That's a good question. We haven't been asking anybody about that in particular. We can ask if the guards will start to offer that to the people as an option.
Well, we don't want to cause a panic, but if anyone is already actively wanting to go.
Yeah, that's why. We'll have the guards kind of spread that information around that there are spots open if people don't feel safe with Duxon coming so close this time around.
Is there a place around here we can at least land to scoop you guys up if needed?
Not inside the city. We would have to go to the landing pad outside. And I call it a pad, but it's just, flattened earth.
She pulls out a where's your hand?
And he holds it out.
I'm dropping something, catch it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Call us if you need us. We'll be up on it. We'll be avoiding crashing into a moon.
Sure. And as you head back to the ship,
Can we detour through the marketplace or anything like that?
Yeah, Nora, we'll get provisions because fuck this, we don't know what the hell's gonna go on.
Just try and get a vibe from the people there too.
Yeah. Like I said, they're
Get
all
some food, stuff like that.
It's all just another Tuesday to them. Some people are pointing up at the moon and kind of marveling at it. Some people that are discussing that with other people are just kind of like brushing it off, putting it aside, kind of pushing their wares more than the discussion of what's happening. But it is uneventful on their way back to your ship.
It feels so fucking weird.
Should we hang around for a little bit, see if the guards gather anyone up, or should we just head? I know you're not his biggest fan, but the cowboy did seem to have information about your mom and about everything that happened around that.
What planet did they say they were on?
They went back to Ossus.
Sorry, my headset had gone in and out for a bit.
They went back to Ossus.
How many jumps is that from here?
It is about 2.5, almost 3 weeks, depending on which buoys you take.
How long is this phenomenon supposed to wait? Or how long is this phenomenon supposed to last?
It'll be on the way out within the month.
Choices.
We found Kiltani Scour. That was what our Ossus originally wanted us to find.
Mm-hmm.
We found out what happened with the crystals, mostly.
Yeah, that's a true. I'm not going to bark up again. I would say we grab some freight and take it over our asses, but I don't know what their manifest is or what they need over there. All right. About what? This shit's about a month out. It's about, 2.5 week, almost 3 week jump?
Mm-hmm.
What you
wouldn't
reckon?
Be back here in time.
This is going to be fun.
Do you want to try the hut? and see if we can find out more about the Shattered Hand. They weren't just attacking Nev, Captain. They went after your mom too.
Yeah, but that's a tree that I need a lot more people than just you and I for. You go to a hut in force. You show power and strength. And you have to make sure you know what they want. So you can barter for information.
Well, I admit I am not the best fighter, Captain, but I'm with you.
No, I agree and I appreciate it, but I don't want to just go in there half cocking it. If you're going to go into a hut, you got to go full cock. That's nothing else. And you and me, don't get me wrong, we can do some good shit. But to go see a hut, yeah, no. I don't know. What do you think? She'll give the passcode to get back into the ship and lock it up.
Probably lets you back on.
Start unpacking, getting shit ready, prepping, but just making kind of like getting shit ready just in case.
Sure.
I don't feel good about leaving, Captain, but at the same time, I don't know what else to do. That's been my story pretty much ever since I left Theric. I've wandered and gone from place to place and never really settled down much. I think this might be the longest time I've stayed with the same ship.
That's good. I mean, Prague did give you a run for your money with a couple of challenges. I don't think he'll do it now, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
All right. We can hang out here for a month, see if we're right. If we're wrong, no worse for wear, and then we can go to ISIS.
That sounds fair to me, Captain.
And Jedi can come here and go and do what they need to do, but we'll hang out here.
Okay.
I'm not thrilled about it, but yay.
Sure. It's a few days until the big celebrations start to be set up for. The city does kind of a week-long party-ish kind of reverence for the moon coming so close. The accoutrements that are being put up, the different symbolisms and artwork is all Sith inspired. And even though it's only been like a few days, a handful of days, the nights have gotten harder to sleep through. Coldness creeps in, no matter how many blankets or how many kind of comforters you wrap yourself in. There's always a sensation of cold. You can hear whispers in the periphery, things that are there when you're not looking at them, but the moment you turn your attention to them, there's nothing there. Just little pinpricks of shadows, ghosts. And as soon as the festivities start, you can feel just how close this moon is to Onderon. This sensation feels like it'll go on for at least 3 or 4 days of just this slow progress of a snail's trudge through the atmosphere. And the moment the moon and Onderon merge atmospheres, there is the sound of horns like you've never heard before. And the sky above the communal area just kind of, for Avix, goes completely black. There's just this sea of shadows that are just shooting by and creating this blanket of nothingness. The sky blots out and you start hearing screams from the city. beast riders, an entire tribe, it looks like, have descended from Duxon and are attacking Isis. How do you want to proceed?
Captain, that's more people than we can fight, but perhaps we can help in some other way.
And your thought is? I'm not getting out of this ship.
No.
And neither should you. She has her comms on. She's waiting to hear from the two at the thing just in case. She's like,
Is there a way we can get an eye on the palace from here? Not just wait for the brothers to calm us. I feel like they're a little too proud to ask for help at this point.
You could fly into the air and take your chances with some of the beach riders.
Shit. Is there any way for, and I don't know if this is possible, is there any way for Nora to sit down and meditate for a moment and try and ask the Force, what the fuck do I do?
You can do whatever you want, sure.
No, I didn't know if there was a role or anything that I've got to do.
Oh, it depends. I don't think you have any kind of force power to push yourself into an answer. So it's just going to be, what is Nora going to do, and how is she going to find the peace of mind to tap into the force?
The peace of mind isn't hard to get into.
Okay.
She's hearing everything, but she's compartmentalizing it for a moment because she's trying to focus on instinct, force, and trying to figure out the right path. I could put her into a meditative state without a problem, but right now it's kind of like Junie doesn't know where to. Yeah.
I don't know what the difficulty for it would be, but can I do life sense and try and just have an idea of what's happening in the city, i.e., are their lives snuffing out?
Oh, yeah, you could try. The city is a large area. There's going to be a lot of...
Maybe just the nearest part of the city, or...
Sure, like a little slice.
Yeah.
Sure, you could try. You got a sense of 2 die plus 1, so let's see what happens.
11.
Okay. You stretch out. You start to kind of hone in, trying to find who's out there and who might be hurt, who might be suffering. And as you start to reach out with the force and kind of narrow yourself to this little alley, this little kind of baseball field diamond of an angle, all you sense is the beasts above you, the riders. There's agitation, there's excitement, there's this bloodlust, and it starts to wash over you in a sensation like molasses. Like normally when you stretch out and you feel the force, you can kind of feel them washing over you, just like a splash of water. Like it just hits and rides off. These are sticking. They're slow to leave you. They are unnaturally attaching themselves to you. You can sense very softly that these have been whipped up into this fervor by someone strong in the dark side.
Does this feel similar to what Synthrasia would do with the battle meditation, but, dark side?
Yes.
Okay.
It is the exact reverse of it.
Someone's driving this, Captain. Someone's driving these people.
Okay.
And they're a force user, a powerful one. If they're able to push this many people, and I think Synthrasia could only affect a few. Maybe she could affect a large crowd if she pushed really hard, but I don't think anywhere near this mass.
That's fair.
Avix is going to pull out the communicator and try and reach out to the brothers and tell them the same thing.
There is a lot of static. You can barely hear like that somebody has picked up on the other line, on the other end of the line, and you can hear combat. You can hear the sounds of slug throwers being used. You can hear the vibrations of the lightsabers cutting in and out of the static, but there's just too much interference. And this is crude, but this is definitely a form of jamming that somebody's using.
I know the risks, Captain, but I don't like the thought of leaving the brothers here. Not if they're in the middle of a fight. I don't know how we can get to them safely. I have some skills in hiding, but
do you remember there was anything anywhere close to trying to land by the palace?
Not for a ship your size.
We have to run across the whole fucking city.
Are there any hover vehicles or anything like that nearby? I can't pilot them, but
there's an old repulsor lift sled that looks like it was probably used by farmers. But there's nothing modern. There's like bicycles, like vehicles, like a dune buggy kind of vehicle. There's like an open top Jeep, but nothing modern.
How many are out there?
Beast Riders?
Yeah.
Too many to count.
Turning the sky dark, Captain. I know you can't see it, but it's
What's to say
like
we can't
clouds.
Shoot a hole through it?
They're being pushed into this, Captain. I don't know. Maybe they're cooperatively being pushed into it, but they're being pushed into it. I can feel it.
Okay, well, we can shoot through them. We could go on foot and possibly get caught in the mix of this and get hurt or killed ourselves. We could try to get to the castle or to the palace. There are so many options. We need to whittle them down and decide. And the problem is that I'm trying to come up with things and...
I say we go for the palace.
Great.
Not sure how we get there, but let's try.
Good. How is the question now? This is where we're getting to.
This is my favorite part of the game.
We've been through the city a few times now. We should be able to at least get there and stay off the main path. Out of sight.
Fine.
Let's try.
Fine, let's go. Bad feeling, bad juju. But fine.
Okay. So how do you want to try to get back into the city?
Like I said, get in the gates however we can, and then not go along the main path, but go down side streets near the main path. Like we should, with enough trips back and forth, I'm feeling like we should at least be able to have a sense of the right direction to go, to stay near but not on the main path.
Yeah, you might have to double back a few times since you've only taken like the main thoroughfares, so you don't know how the side streets are mapped out. But as you come out of the ship again, Avix will see that the main gate to the city, one of the main doors, has just been toppled over. It looks like some of the flying beasts are sitting on top and just crunching on the guards that were in charge of closing the gates. It looks like the others are pushed the other gate kind of open and have jury rigged this latch mechanism to kind of keep it there that goes up into the ramparts above. This looks like it has been planned out for some time. It's going to be a roll of sneak if you want to try to get by the beasts without alerting them, or you could just engage them in combat if you want to fight your way through them.
What is sneak? I don't have that.
Sneak is a perception skill, my friend.
Yes, it
Ooh,
is.
right?
So
Pretty
it
good
would
at
it would
that.
default to your perception, which is not bad.
Yeah.
You're both pretty good.
I'm up for trying to sneak past them.
I got a bad feeling about this. This is a really bad choice.
I'm here for it.
You are.
Correct.
You only live once, Captain.
Bite your tongue. I plan on living many lives.
Ooh, explosion.
Ooh.
I don't know how to do that yet, though.
Oh, good. My dice are even D6s are betraying me today. My D10s were
8.
betraying me last night in 7C.
19.
19.
19.
Hot damn.
I have 15.
Okay. Both of you see that there are two beasts. They're very similar to pterodactyls in that they walk on their elbows. They bring their tiny little clawed juts out from what would be the elbow or the wrist in this case scenario. And they're like using it to hold pieces of this guard up to their mouths to chomp down. One of them stops and tilts up like it senses your approach as you're still coming around towards the gate side. But it quickly just goes back to biting down on the guard. And you manage to get past these two monsters that are radiating a primal sense of agitation and a sense of finally being fulfilled. To Nora, it is a color that is shifting from starving to enjoyment. It looks like the Beast Riders were starving their mounts specifically for this assault.
Yeah.
Let's go.
She'll tell Avox that.
Let's try and stay away from them then.
You think? I might need to gently beat you up when we get back.
You start
Wouldn't be the first time, Captain.
start making your way downtown, walking fast, faces past. You're not homebound.
Mhm.
Oh, not even close.
Not even close to being homebound. There is a few moments where you have to double back as some streets end up in dead ends. people are staying indoors. They're reinforcing their entryways, or they've shut all of their windows and have reinforced them as well. The festivities have obviously turned sour. There is strewn remnants of the Sith about that Avix can see. And after a moment, as you come around to the main thoroughfare that leads to the palace, you will see that there is a few of the beast riders that swoop low, and almost in a mirror of the assassination attempt that you walked in on, you will see them kind of jump down, roll, and as they're coming up into the position to attack, they are pulling vibro swords, but also at the same time throwing different items out with their other hand. Kay and Ulick are doing their best to protect each other. Their lightsabers are just a flurry of blue and green. There is a sense of, for Nora, there is a slow creeping of desperation into their color. Right now, it is a struggle for control, a sense of duty, but they're both overly trying to protect the other. There is a very strong familial bond here. Like, there is a sensation that these two would die for each other without hesitation. And Avix will see that Kay's lightsaber cuts through one of the small kind of cubes that the assassins are throwing, and as it is cut in half, the majority of what's inside, which is a kind of sap, very thick, viscous kind of liquid, it's burned up. There is a majority of it that is just being eaten alive by the plasma of the lightsaber, but the patches that do kind of splash onto him start to phosphorescently glow, even in the daylight. Like, there is this glowing patches on him. For Nora, there is a sudden burst of shadow, of cold, of anger, of hatred that Kay's lightsaber cuts through this box that's full of it. And it isn't until the box is cut open that you sense this emotion come out. These boxes look to be specially designed not to allow Mirror Lucas to see inside of them. They have been prepared so that people like you cannot have advanced warning about what's about to befall them. And the moment that they hit Kay, there is this spread of coldness over his body. Avix will see that some of the pterodactyls now turn their attention straight on him and start to make dive bombs at him. This looks like it's at Kay. This looks like it's a type of attractor, something that is equal parts beacon and agitator.
Avix is going to start pushing out pheromones.
Okay.
Trying to get people just pushing out, agree with me, do what I want.
Okay.
And let's see. He's going to yell out at the people who are nearby, "You want to be elsewhere," and trying to persuade them of that fact.
Okay. So I'll let you get your first die.
Okay.
So your first round of influence automatically. Let's see how many people you can convince to GTFO. What is Nora doing as she sees these now tossed into a fervor pterodactyls? Kind of, there's 3 of them that are swooping down towards Kay.
If I was to do the lightsaber, am I doing lightsaber and dexterity, or am I doing lightsaber combat?
Well, I don't think you have lightsaber combat as a power.
I have 2. I have a 2D on that.
Well, no, I'm saying
She trained in it.
Did you buy the power, though, is what I'm saying?
Yes,
Because
sir.
I don't remember that being on your list.
Sure did. I said I drop the repair and do the 2D on combat, and I paid the XP for that.
Okay. Because there's a difference between just having the lightsaber skill and having you did buy the lightsaber combat. Okay. So you're gonna have to activate lightsaber combat. That is
what
a
I'm
power.
asking, is that I want to make sure I know which D I'm using, because if I can't use my 4D, then I'll just go right into my bow staff. If I can only use the 2D for lightsaber combat, then I'll negate the lightsaber for the moment and do what I can with 4 dice as opposed to 2.
Okay. So since lightsaber combat is a power that has to be activated. So when it is completely activated, you get to add your sense dice to your lightsaber skill anytime that you're using a lightsaber.
Okay.
Since the power has to be activated, you have your choice. Do you want to activate one part of the power now and then one part of the power next round, or do you want to try to activate the power in one round?
So I'll get a 4D either way I'm looking at it then.
No, that's what I'm planning. Because the power is based off control and sense. You've got to roll control and sense to activate the power one at a time, or if you're going to do it in the same round, you're going to find yourself with the multiple action penalty.
Okay.
So how does Nora want to activate lightsaber combat? This is where we get into the clunkiness of the system.
You know, we'll just do one at a time just to make it simple.
So roll your control. Just 2 die plus 1.
23 on that persuasion roll, by the way.
Okay.
That's a 10 for control.
Okay. So control passes. And Avix will feel Nora calling on the Force. You can't see color. Avix can't see the Force the way Nora does. It's her whole livelihood. What is the driving emotion for Nora, though?
Emotion for her, she's pulling all the emotion. So it's not just the negative and the positive emotion. It's just, you've got to do what you got to do. Get these people out.
Okay.
It's more of the sense of survival. And if she's got to do it, she's got to do it. And she's learned through therapy that she can take her emotions, pull them together, keep them balanced, so it's not pulled one way or another, but to focus on the target and focus on the goal. And that's what she's working on. It's focusing on the goal to get the guys and get them out.
Okay. So there is this sensation of the finish line that kind of starts to permeate through the use of your pheromones. A lot of the people that are near you that were just kind of like cuddling behind one of the carts just kind of like nod and start to rush towards one of the back streets. The 3 assassins that lunged at the Kodroma brothers are finding out that a vibro weapon is good but not good to have against the lightsaber. Ulick more than Kay, as Kay has taken to running under a roofed part of a walkway to kind of avoid being a snack for some pterodactyls. And as you are seeing the scene play out, the doors at the top of the stairs fly open, and in his wheelchair, you will see the king in his weakened condition of Onderon being pushed out by Queen Amanoa, and she looks out and she just yells, "What is the meaning of this?" and puts one hand on her husband's face and puts her other hand out towards the sky. Nora will see this blackness being pulled from the king into Queen Amanoa, and then the sky is lit up with force lightning. There is just anger, hatred, and hostility that is shooting out of her. And there is a wave of coldness that comes down from the top of the stairs and fills the streets. It is unlike anything that the planet prepared you for. Even with the little pockets of coldness and the sleepless nights that you've dealt with, this is a level of dark side that you didn't know could be inside somebody. And as some of the beast riders start to fall from the sky, their birds, their mounts just shrieking in pain, you can hear the sheer pain that is coursing through all of them, and you can even see the lives being snuffed out through the force. There is just this unnatural tree branch of just pure power. What does this look like to Nora?
No, just deep, dark red and black with flickers of the lightning. Just this just pushes her to ignite the second part of the senses, just because self-preservation and to get those guys out.
Sure.
This is pushing her to get it done.
All right, roll your sense.
Avix is going to, with his action, look at the brothers and like gauge his voice so that it's loud enough for them to hear, but I'm hoping not so loud that it's reaching all the way up to the top of the palace steps.
Sure.
And say, and look at them and say, I don't know if she's on your side. And then while he's doing that, he's going to try and stab one of the people who are attacking the brothers with his vibro sword.
Okay. Go ahead and
That's
make
a
your
14.
melee combat. Perfect. So you have activated lightsaber combat. So now to keep the power up, to concentrate on it, it will eat up your free action moving forward. So just know that anything that you do from here on out is going to suffer the multiple action penalties, but you are rolling your sense and your lightsaber skill together. So you're rolling 6 dice plus 2 as a base for anything you do with your lightsaber.
So if you explode on the wild die and then roll a 1 for the second roll.
It doesn't. The initial roll is what the wild die looks for.
Okay.
So you're safe.
So then 15, 16.
Yeah, otherwise it would be terrible.
18.
Yeah. The assailant is not paying attention to you. It doesn't consider you a threat. So you run up and just stab this guy right as he's about to lash out with what looks to be a box set for Ulick. The moment he falls over, Ulick kind of nods at you, and then he turns his attention to where his brother is and holds out his hand, and you feel the force pulling for a moment, and you see the two pterodactyls that are just kind of on either side of this covered walkway trying to get to K both drop like suddenly a net brought them down to the ground. And he'll go, "Come on, we're leaving." And K starts to rush over to you. And as the two brothers come over to you, as you see that Nora is also pulling on the force, there's this little conclave of Jedis around you. From the top of the stairs, you hear the crashing sound as the wheelchair comes tumbling down the steps, the thuds of what was the king's body coming down, following it. Next to Queen Amanoa, you will see the Togruta that killed Nev's father on Coruscant just ignite his red lightsaber. And this, I think, is a good point to go to break. So we will see everybody in 10 minutes. Ooh, maybe I love the way. Well, not this way, but a way. Welcome back, everybody. When we left our crew, they were in some spicy bit of situations. So we're going to jump right into it. Let's roll initiatives, shall we?
Okay.
Good
What am I rolling?
times.
You're gonna have to
It
remind
is
me what I
based
what I rolled.
off of your perception.
Okay. Ooh.
Okay.
Do I get the +1 pips, or is it?
Yeah.
17.
17. Yeah, I don't know what Urian did to my dice, but he royally like ruined any chance of me having fun.
12.
12. Okay.
Mama
well,
did not roll well.
it's okay.
Well, 12 goes before 17, if I remember.
I know.
Right.
Yeah, it's low
Yes.
to high.
I wanted to roll high.
Unfortunately, thanks to Urian, the Togruta rolled a 7. So,
Oh, shit.
yeah. So he gets to go
Really,
first.
Urian? Why, Urian?
Yeah. You know,
Goddamn.
I don't know what I did to him either, because I thought we had very pleasant scenes together. I thought that we were bosom buddies, kind of like Tom Hanks and the other guy that nobody ever cares about.
Goose?
No, from Bosom Buddies.
Oh, yeah, the other dude. All right, never mind. Forgot.
I said Tom Hanks, not Tom Cruise.
Well, you know what? My mind went to Top Gun, so,
Yeah.
just go
wrong
with it.
Wrong Tom, first of all.
It's okay. It's all right.
So, our Togruta friend is going to activate a couple of powers. So you're going to feel him pull on the force. And you see him rush down the stairs almost inhumanly fast. It is like a blur of black and red as he rushes down the stairs past the falling wheelchair, past the husk of who was the king. And the moment he comes down, you see him pull his lightsaber back into a defensive position and hold out his hand. And as he shoots his hand forward, a small arc of lightning will shoot out at all 4 of you.
Can I use lightsaber to block?
If you want to fry your lightsaber, yes, you can.
Ah, fuck. Oh, actually, I think.
So you can try to negate some of the damage with your control or your willpower, whichever is higher.
I don't have either, so.
Well, the willpower defaults to your knowledge, so that's going to be at least 2 dice
great.
for you.
Absorb and dissipate energy.
You
Or is
can
that
use
gonna fry
absorb.
me?
You can use absorb and dissipate energy. I will tell you that it's an all or nothing power, though.
No.
So you either absorb all of it or you take all of it.
All right, we're
8.
going willpower.
Okay. So 8 for Avix.
Rolling.
Yep.
Oh, hold on. That's 20.
20. Okay. So the good news for you is that the hate and anger that he pumps through this lightning hits you, but doesn't infect you. Unfortunately for Avix, the opposite happens. So you rolled 8, I rolled 16. So that is 8 over you. So you are wounded once.
All right.
What is Avix's worst fear? Because it is dredged up and pulled to the forefront.
Avix's worst fear would be returning to the planet of the Faline with Theric. Like, he might consider going back someday on his own, but his worst fear would be going back there with Theric.
The lightning hits Ulick, it hits Kay, it hits Nora, and it hits you. It's arcing past everybody and into everybody. And as this electricity surges through your body and starts firing off different synapses, you can feel your hands like flexing, fingers contracting and opening. You are suddenly back in Faline. There is the familiar smell of the fields. There is the sights that you remember, the others that were working with you. And suddenly there's a yank. You can hear a chain being pulled taut. And immediately the front of your neck shoots forward. And you're not sure anymore if it's the lightning coursing through you or you actually having been in a daydream of your life outside of this place. But you see the slave master in charge of your group just look at you, get back to work. You don't have your sword in your hand. You don't have the tool belt. You don't have the streets of Onderon around you. You're back on Faline.
Okay.
But 12, Nora, what do you want to do? How do you want to move forward?
He's in a defensive position, hitting us with force lightning.
Mm-hmm. It's not the same as what the queen pulled, just so you're aware. Like when you felt him pulling on the force at the top of the stairs, when you felt him pulling on the force at the bottom of the stairs, there's not the same level of aggression or lashing out that he had in Coruscant. This is weaker. He's still very angry. He's still very powerful, but it's almost like there's been a tapering off. Like whatever was fueling him in Coruscant is not fueling him here.
She'll let the lightning go around her. She's holding her mother's lightsaber, and she's just like, Okay. Nice parlor trick. Can we talk? You're muted, sir.
I saw it immediately.
Okay.
You will see that Avix and K are both suddenly slack. Their hands are at their side. Avix's sword clatters to the floor. K's lightsaber falls to the floor and shuts off.
Shit.
And they're just slumped forward, eyes glossed over, slack. Their jaws are slack. There's just this faraway look in their eyes, like a 1,000-yard stare. They're not there.
Oh, I know, but she's talking to the guy who just hit us with force lightning.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
He smiles.
She's just. I'm a captain of a ship. I can handle shit. Let's see if we can talk.
Yeah. And Ulick will bring up his lightsaber into a very standard defensive position. But you see him start to step over towards his brother.
Yep. She's standing in front. So whatever goes on behind her, hopefully is going to be cool. She's got the trying to get eyes on bad guy here.
You will see another flash of lightning, another suddenly the whole sky becomes monochromatic. There's just another lashing out, and this time you can feel that the queen, since she's drained her husband, now she is draining the planet. She is pulling from the very life force. You can hear some of the people around you screaming in pain as she is from a distance pulling on everything that has been drilled into you as this kind of boogeyman story of the dark side, that through it immeasurable pain can be brought to people. And this time around you see that there's something else pulling on the queen. It's not her. She's just allowing herself to be a conduit. There is the shadow of someone else that is acting through her. The tendrils of shadow will reach out like an arm towards the sky, and her arm will come up in response, almost like a marionette, with the strings kind of pulling. And after that sudden moment of monochromatic black and white takes over the sky for you, you hear the Togruta eyes, his face is following Ulick, but his mouth and his tone of voice is definitely directed at Nora, and he just yells out, "I didn't catch your name on Coruscant.
Never threw it.
You have studied with the Jedi. Shall I teach you how to be really powerful?"
I don't think you can, being that you've lost your fervor. You're not as strong as you were on Coruscant. You've tempered.
Whether he's still envisioning himself on Faline, or whether he realizes where he is.
Oh, he's on Faline.
He's on Faline. So then the fear turns into just pure rage. He's lost control of the pheromones. He's pumping them out and just pushing that feeling out to everyone. And he's going to go diving in the direction of just charging towards wherever the person who yanked on the chain in his mind is.
Okay. Roll your brawl.
That's 3.
What emotion would you say is driving Avix?
rage, but like a I don't want to say dark rage, like not like rage that to see people doing this again, rage that he's there again, that he's seeing this again, and he's not happy to be seeing that.
Okay. What color does that look like to Nora?
The rage? Oh, that's different hues of red.
Okay.
7.
Okay. Nora will see that both Kay and Avix are starting to turn different shades of red. Kay, although still standing and still kind of slacked, is led by a rage of inadequacy, a rage of always being second player, always being stuck with Luigi. The rage that a younger brother would have. Avix is more justified. There is a sensation of never wanting to go back, of righting wrongs, of making sure that no one else has to live through this. So, although they are both painted red, they're very different. To Avix, you come barreling into the guy. The Falleen in charge of you is bigger, stronger, better fed, better taken care of, and was probably in your position until he did the exact same thing that you're doing right now. And as he falls, he lets go of the chain, and 3 and 4 other Falleen suddenly feel their chains go slack and look in your direction, and they come rushing over, and you see them just take their chains and start whipping them down like bats on this slave master.
Avix is gonna scream, "Get away while you can."
Okay, bringing us back to 7. The Togruta takes a step forward. Ulick steps forward to meet him, and you see that although he doesn't swing, he does keep the saber pointed up in his defensive position. And the Togruta just kind of waves him away with his free hand, and Ulick goes flying. His back crunches against the fountain, and you see him slump down into the water and start to crawl out in pain. But he is sending out reassurance to his brother. He is trying to calm his emotions. He is trying to be the anchor he needs him to be to come back. And the Gruta looks in your direction, holds the lightsaber up to you. Let me show you just how far I have fallen then, Padawan. Come, show me what you have learned.
I don't have to show you anything. You can't goad me into a fight. I can defend, but I'm not going to get into one. Do something or go back to your queen, because clearly that's who you're serving. And she'll just try to keep concentration, but at the same time, try and smack something into Avix, because she can't do everything right now.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
So if she has to do a gift slap, she can do a gift slap.
That's fine. Let's have you roll your brawl then, if you're gonna hit him.
Because she's not going to go against somebody that she knows.
Yeah, since you're. Are you still focusing? Are you still focusing on lightsaber combat?
Yep, but she's not going to use the lightsaber to hit him.
No, I know you're using your hand. So your brawl is based off of your strengths normally, and because you're concentrating, that already eats up your free action. So you're taking an extra action. So you're going to roll 1 die and add 1 to it.
What do I roll? Can I roll against that, or am I just still off in my world?
You're off in your world. So this is to see if she can connect with you physically. Okay. What did Nora get on her 1 die plus 1?
That's 18. I exploded twice.
Okay. Give me a control roll for you now, as you feel him pulling on the force, and there is this sensation of a fist crushing your heart.
So that's the 2 plus 1, right?
Yep, it's going to be 2 die plus 1. Actually, roll your willpower because it's higher. So you roll 2 more dice.
Okay.
4 die plus 1. Avix, roll your strength for me.
Okay.
2 die plus 2.
6.
Okay.
8, 10,
Rolled low.
15.
I mean, you wanted to roll low, but not so low.
15. Is that, do I get a plus 1 with it or no?
Yeah, you have a 4 die plus 1.
Okay. So that's 16.
Okay. That is less than what I got. That is a difference of 8, and so now you are wounded once. You feel the hand, invisible as it is, just every single finger you feel touch you can feel the palm of his hand cupping the bottom of your heart. You can feel it kind of very slightly being elevated in the center of your chest, and then you feel every single one of his fingers close in until they're touching each other, and then squeeze in further until he's closing his fist around your heart. It is so traumatic to you. Everything is pushed out of you. The air in your lungs, the desire to empty your stomach suddenly washes up in the back of your throat. And as quickly as he squeezes, he lets go. And the moment your back of your fist comes crashing into what is supposed to be a kind of pat in Avix's stomach to kind of bring him back, just suddenly finds your arm shooting out in a much more painful and sudden jerk of a movement. Avix, unfortunately, is now at wounded twice.
Jesus Christ.
But in his mind, there is the image of all of these falling, beating senselessly this slave master, and one of them turns in your direction and swings his chain like a bat at you, and the moment it connects, you are brought back. The arid senses, the sounds of the beast riders in the sky, you can hear everything that you remember from Onderon. The sounds of the lightsabers, the combat, the crackle, the ionization of the air you can smell, and you see Nora doubled over. You can see that Kay is just kind of standing there looking down. His fists are clenched. There is this anger that that is just kind of coursing through him. Ulick is crawling out of the fountain, kind of holding his hand out to his brother, and you can sense this need to want him to calm down. There's this face of complete and utter lack of control. There is just desperation, and in the center of everything is this Togruta with his lightsaber out, pointed at Nora, and just his fist kind of closed, and then suddenly just kind of releasing reflexively and then being brought down.
Avix is going to try and wrench back control of his pheromones and scream towards Kay, wake up.
Okay. Roll with, we'll say that you have all 3 dice.
Okay.
We'll say that you have been, even in your fear, you have been pumping them out.
Make sure I don't accidentally have these run into other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Let's see here. Wow. Okay. 10, 18, 20, 23 plus 1, 24.
Okay.
And that was with rolling 3 ones, not on wild die.
Okay. Yeah, welcome to my world, because I've been rolling garbage. There's a moment you have been pumping your pheromones. They've almost completely engulfed this whole courtyard. And as you scream for this young Jedi to wake up, you notice that his head kind of snaps up, his hand opens, and immediately the lightsaber flies into it and ignites itself again. And you see him lunge forward and attack this Togruta. The Togruta defends himself as this Jedi attacks him, and there's a moment now that it comes back to his turn that although he is fighting Kay, you see that Ulick kind of has a moment of thankfulness. He kind of sighs, he drops his head down, and he kind of feels like he's redoubling his efforts. He starts to push himself up, and the moment that his field of vision drops from his brother, the Togruta swings up in an arc, and Kay's right arm with a lightsaber in it goes flying in an opposite direction to his body. And Kay screams in pain. Ulick's head shoots up, and there is this burst of anger, and he literally leaves an imprint of his fingers in the edge of the fountain as he calls on the Force and pushes himself with inhuman strength and spears this Togruta, pushing both of them 20 feet towards the end of the courtyard against one of the pillars that's holding up one of the covered walkways, and you hear the crunch of the Togruta's back and shoulders as it comes into contact with the pillar, and it starts to slide down, and there's this odd smile on his face. And you can see that his hands are twitching. There's almost the vestiges of him feeling his control slip away as the musculature, the nerve damage starts to sink in, and slowly the lightsaber rolls out of his hand, and he just starts laughing. It is this sad, triumphant laugh.
Avex is going to use that high initiative and jump up in the order if he can,
Sure.
and go try and do first aid on Kay.
Okay. So I'll shoot you to 8 instead.
And I'm
You do
paying
have a med
penalty
kit on
because
you?
I'm wounded, right? Yes, I do.
Yes. You have a med kit on you. So it's a 2-die penalty because of wounded twice.
Mm-hmm. But I get one. Is it one extra die for the med kit, or?
Yeah, you do get a 1 die plus 0 for the med kit, so you're only suffering minus 1 die.
Okay, so 40.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. 16.
16. Using the available materials in the med kit, using the stimulants and the kind of suppressants that exist in it, you find that you can shut off the pain that he's currently coursing through his body. Putting on some of the second skin, you can start to prevent the kind of burn damage that is currently eating up his shoulder, and the Togruta just kind of slumps down, and you can feel him start to pull on the force, and you see the lightsaber kind of rattling, about to fly up, and Ulick puts his foot on it. And there is a split second where you know that this is going to go one of two ways. And before you can even influence anything, you see the green arc of his lightsaber, just kind of like a happy face, like a little half crescent shape, and the head lops off. The two bottom parts of his leku fly in a far thrust as his head, which weighs incredibly more, just kind of thumps down and rolls away. And Ulick shuts off his lightsaber immediately and just stands there. His shoulders are heaving. To Nora, he is trying desperately to find control. But what happened to his brother has pushed him in a direction that I don't think even he felt himself possible to explore. And it is taking all of his Jedi training to bring him back. Kay thanks you. He just looks up at Avex, and you see him just kind of standing still. He is also pulling on the force, but he is doing it to kind of control his pain, to blot out all of the struggle that's going on in him. He's kind of staring at his arm with the lightsaber still in it, the lightsaber still ignited. And the queen is gone. The beast riders are gone. The skies are clear. The city is in disarray. But the four of you have survived.
Nora's going to tell him to go get the one that can't walk. She'll grab Kay try to control his pain, grab his arm, unignite his lightsaber, of course, before grabbing the arm, and saying, "We're gone. We're out."
Avix is yelling at Ulick at this point. He's okay. He's okay. Let's go. And he'll even try and use persuasion for that.
Yeah, I'm not going to make you roll. It helps tremendously. If not for your pheromones, it would have been having to drag Ulick from this. But there's a moment where it's almost as if he was hearing you from the deep end of the pool. Like he could hear you talking to him, urging him to leave. And it isn't until you physically touch him and use your pheromones that he snaps out of it, looks in your direction, takes a deep breath like he's just pushed himself from the very bottom of an Olympic pool up through the surface. And he goes, yes, you are right. We need to leave. Where's the queen?
Don't care. Don't give a shit. We're gone.
He's disappeared.
She went and she disappeared. I don't care. We got to get out of here.
I don't think she was your friend.
No.
Nope.
No. And he will grab the arm from you and kind of put his self underneath Kay's other side and kind of start to help him along. You get back to your ship, and as you take off, you will hear the thrum of a massive ship coming out of hyperspace. It is the modified mining vessel that was above the planet when you were meeting Nomi Sunrider. You recognize it as, I hate this name. You recognize it as Finhead Stonebone's ship.
You know what? No. Just going to tell Avix to punch it.
Well, Avix isn't a pilot. Avix is climbing up into the turret, and I'm totally okay with flying away. But as we're flying away, I'm taking some shots in that direction.
Sure.
Yep. She'll tell Prague then, punch it. We're out.
All right. And it does a little micro jump to the nearest buoy. But once you feel the ship drop out of hyperspace, Prague would just be like, where would you like to go, miss? We need a destination.
Isis.
Yeah, ISIS.
Yeah.
And
Very
she'll
well.
do what she can to control the pain of the guys, to do as much as she can.
Yeah.
Because she does have control others' pain.
Yeah. And it takes you the better part of 3 weeks to get to Isis. Jumping from buoy to buoy, you will find out that as you leave the Stennis system, that several of the hyperspace beacons are being tampered with. They are being pushed out into different parts of where they should be anchored. It looks like they're trying to remove Stennis as an option for travel. It isn't until you get to Isis that Ulick and Kay start kind of really talking about what to do next and what avenues to explore. And they bring up Exar Kun and how he might have some information because he had been dealing with the Queen and the King of Onderon before them and Master Jeth arrived. That you remember that Nev and Synthracia were both on Onderon when all of this happened. Mm-hmm. That you left them behind, and as you arrive on Isis and the Jedi thank you for helping to bring back 2 of their knights. They offer you a place to stay a place to try to deal with the trauma of what's happened to you, and they do offer the both of you a position in the academy as students. And they give you time to think about it, just in case. But that first night on Ossus, it is the first real night that there has been no tendrils of coldness, no shadows in your periphery. And it is also the night that both Avix and Nora will see themselves in each other's dream. They are standing in the cockpit of the Sunrise Crescent. There is a lush green orb coming towards them. There is this slither of a blue river. There is this massive ziggurat that creeps up, almost jutting itself from the planet's surface, daring to touch the very brim of the atmosphere itself. There are these 4 obelisks in the cardinal directions, and inside you will see these Wookiee-like massive creatures kneeling, sitting in reverence of this silhouette at this brazier. At his side, you will see Synthracia. In the mess of these Wookiees, these massive haired giants, you'll see Nev peeking out, or someone that looks like Nev. There's a beard. There's this long hair in a ponytail. There is this scar down the side of his face, very thin, but definitely different than you remember. And turning around, holding up this chalice, this massive Wookiee-sized chalice, you will see Exar Kun. And the same shadow that hovered around the Queen is hovering around him. And as you both shoot up out of your beds at the same time, in the same moment, I think this is a good point to call this adventure to a close. And I think this is the best place to bring our first season to an end. So I want to thank you guys for being here, for running through it, for being a part of this. I know that times are difficult given the writer strike and the Screen Actors Guild strike. And, like I said at the beginning, if you watched us, I appreciate you. We don't do this for the money. Even with the generosity of those of you that share your bits with us here, all of us are donating our time. And so I don't consider us in any way, shape, or form having scabbed our way past the picket line. I stand in solidarity with the Writers Guild as a writer myself. I stand in solidarity with the Screen Actors Guild as a theater student and as a friend of actors who are actively out there in Hollywood on shows and in movies and in whatever. I appreciate you being here as an audience member. I appreciate the two of you for being here for this last episode. And what a way to go. But as always, I'm going to invoke the Sith ritual of summoning the Shankus McStabberus into existence so that he can give it his outro.
So I am Darth Shanky tonight.
Darth Shankus.
Or Darth McStabbers. Darth
There you go.
McStabberus. There we go. Darth McStabberus. Got to have a new us at the end, you know?
It's poetic.
Yeah. I do thank everyone for coming. I thank the players for this ups and downs, heart-wrenching story. I mean, we got to see people shot with the Starship lasers. We got to see people fried by Starship engines. We got to see people chopped in half. We got to see people cut themselves with a lightsaber they didn't know how to use. I mean, you know, we got to see the captain there, Nora Bay, have to deal with a whole lot of shit that she shouldn't have to deal with because, you know, hey, that's what happens when you're the captain. So, you know.
Heavy is the head that wears a crown.
That's right. But I
You should see me in a crown.
do thank the players, and I do thank all the viewers out there for coming to this. Of course, if you want to join us on the Discord, that is where this show is cast from. That is where we cast all our shows from. We do community hangouts from time to time. There might be one tomorrow night. I have to wait and see. It won't be one tonight. Of course not. We just had a casting call closed. So right now we don't have any open casting calls, but there may be one coming up soon because I'm still wanting to do a Broken Tales game. So I may have to do a casting call for that. That's where you are playing the antagonists from fairy tales that have turned good because all the protagonists from the fairy tales turned evil.
Like it.
Yeah, it's flipping the fairy tale, the whole fairy tale concept on its head. So it'll be an interesting one. I still want to run that. I kickstarted it, got the books, haven't had a chance to run it yet, and I still want to do it. So keep an eye for that. That'll be coming up. You want to catch back episodes like all the episodes of the Star Wars series, Windy City After Dark, Dark Ages, Werewolf, Changeling, Mage, Demon, Wraith, dear God, Bluebeard's Bride, Nighthawks, You Will Destroy Something Beautiful, Zasser Kala, Paranoia, so much shit. We've got so many back episodes. I think we've got over 300 videos on our YouTube, maybe close to 400 by now. So we have streamed a hell of a lot of content, so you know. Check us out over there. If you want to see Call of Cthulhu or D&D 5e, go see Tiss's channel, which is the Ishval channel. Go check that shit out. She's got her London Esoteric Society, good shit. If you want to see some amazing content creators, right there. The RPG table is Nora Bay down there. Ravenous Archon was the game master. We'll give a chance for them to shout out what they're doing. But hey, check out their channel, subscribe to them, go watch their good content. You want to get some studio merch? You can get you some studio merch. Let's be fair. The studio don't really make money off that. We have it set to the minimum defaults we can for the merchandising amount. It's just a way to, you know, if you want to wear some McStabber shit, wear some McStabber shit. You know, I know a couple of you out there have some. I know more than one bought the Red Rockets for Gaia, which is a werewolf reference. And yes, it's exactly what you think it is. Yep, no cowards here. That's the other werewolf one we had. If you want to give something to the players, as Ravenous Archons mentions, bits and donations, they go to the players. None of us make money doing this, but it is a way to give back to the players a little something to show you thanks for, you know, the hard work and everything that goes into it. There's a lot of work that goes into these kind of things. It's not just playing on camera all the time. There's back end stuff. It's a time thing. So give the bits and donations for that. If you want to give to the studio, of course, subscribe on Twitch. Twitch will take half. They're fucking pimps. You can go up over to KoFi to give to the studio without Twitch taking half. Or if you're watching on YouTube, it costs you nothing to subscribe on YouTube, to like the video, hit the notification icon, and comment on the video. That all costs you nothing. So you can do that for free to support the studio. It doesn't really make much money, but again, we're not going to make much money here. That's not what we do. If we could make a whole lot of money with it, well, you wouldn't be watching us right now because I would be, you know, pushing for SAG membership for all of our casts and, you know, all that kind of thing. That's not what we're doing here. So, you know, then we'd be striking because we do support the strike. We're in solidarity with them because, you know, if the studio execs can make $10 million and $100 million, why can't they pay the extras and all the, you know, it's easy to make money if your name's Tom Cruise, if your name's Will Smith, but that's one person on a lot of these shows. That's not the majority of the cast you're seeing, and they are not making. Some of them aren't making minimum wage. Some of the writers are not making a livable wage, and they're producing some of the best content out there. So we support the Writers Union and the Screen Actors Union. So, hey, support them too. Let's see. Schedule. Let me give you the schedule coming up. We've got tomorrow, Tiss is back with Call of Cthulhu, London Esoteric Society, with her, by now they're on the year right around the turn of the century, 1900, with her investigators as they do all the cult shit and read the books you shouldn't read, look into the horrors of the elder gods, and lose all their sanity. But who needs sanity? Fuck sanity. Sanity's overrated. Sunday, starting at noon, we are kicking off our Windy City After Dark Marathon. It'll run from noon to roughly 9 o'clock at night. That'll be the first 4 episodes of Windy City, done back-to-back. No breaks, no intros, just back-to-back Windy City as a one giant marathon, which will run all the way on Sundays until we're done Windy City. Then we'll kick off more of our World of Darkness. So if you want to have some World of Darkness in the background while you're doing something, you want to just catch bits and pieces of Windy City from the start, hey, Sunday's the day to do it. Just turn it on, leave it on while you're putting around the house, while you're doing your errands, and you can hear all the original fun that was Windy City. And then, of course, Wednesday, Vampire Dark Ages. I'm not saying bad shit happened. I'm just saying somebody went to the Umbra as a kindred. Ratkin are running around, which are Weircats. Ratkin, Weir Rats, which are fucking terrifying. And I left them on a cliffhanger of a bunch of Shadow Lords in Hispo form showing up in their damn camp. And that's, you'll find Ravnos Archon and Junie down there in that one. Yeah.
Waist deep in bullshit.
Yeah. Some people like werewolves, so I'm giving them some werewolves. I don't think they liked them that much.
We like to play werewolves, not fight them.
I haven't had to fight one yet. Yet. I'll leave
Their
the
word,
there.
sir.
So, Junie, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me everywhere on the internet, especially on my own channel on Twitch, as well as the RPG Table. You can also find me here on Wednesdays. You can find me on every other Thursday on Remnant Archon's channel, doing 7th Sea. You can also find me on Roll Call doing DC by Night on Sundays. And I am a mod at Cajun Knights Discord, where we play. It's a play-by-post server for all of your World of Darkness needs. And I do want to say thank you to everyone that came here to watch us play and enjoying the story that was pulled out and played. And we do support everyone else in these hard times. So much appreciated. Thank you.
Yep. And Ravner's Archon, let everybody know what you're doing.
Hello, everybody. I have my own channel as well here on Twitch, where I run Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition on Mondays. It's a 2-part story where I tell an Anarch chapter one day and a Camarilla chapter the next Monday, and we alternate. We're on break right now on Tuesdays, but we normally have Werewolf the Wild West or Legend of the Five Rings alternating, and every other Thursday, because I haven't found something else to pair it with, I do run a 7th Sea campaign where you will see Junie playing a very German old lady. But yeah.
Not old.
What? I mean, whatever. But yeah, on Wednesdays you can catch me here being Agustin de la Cruz, La Sombra in the Dark Ages. And I'm going to have to figure out what to run as an alternative because, the strike has ruined our plans to go back to Dune, to Arrakis. So we'll see what happens. We might just take some time off. I think I've infected the channel for too long.
And I will point out everywhere on the Dune, though our thing is not directly linked to the Dune 2 movie, the studio's intention was to run Dune as part with the Dune movie out to tie in, promo kind of thing. And because of the nature of why we were going to stream Dune, we're not going to stream it until the strike is over.
Correct. And unpaid too, an unpaid promotion of the movie. It is just us donating our time because we like the system, we like the story, and we like the universe. And the Modifius 2D20 system is fantastic. So
It's all
That's me.
about your intentions.
Mhm.
And in that case, the intentions do not allow us to run the dune until the strike is over. So, hey, that happens. Calisalvo, let everybody know where you are.
So you can find me, now that I'm done with my game here, you'll find me over at Quest Authority's Discord and Twitch stream. Quest Authority does legal and politics talk, mostly legal, but also politics where they affect the legal stuff. We have a pretty big Discord all our own with a lot of people who are nerds of various kinds, lawyers and law obsessed nerds, but that means they're also TTRPG players and all sorts of other nerddom, hanging out, chatting, talking about what's going on in the world. It's a great place to be. I love being there. And yeah.
That's where I met Calisalvo. That's how we, Calisalvo, joined the community. So seriously, check out Quest Authority's Twitch channel. You go over there. You can also get his Discord right from there, because that's how I got on his Discord. Got all the info on good lawsuits and lawsuits, because for some reason he covers a lot of those here lately. Seems to be a lot of those being done. So check those out. And as always, everybody, we here at McStabber Studios, we believe in mental health. We believe in supporting mental health, and we want you to take your mental health seriously and the mental health of others seriously. So check in on those around you. Reach out to people you haven't heard from for a while, and please make sure they're okay, because I know a lot of people aren't, and it can take a friendly lifeline, just a voice to help pull them off an edge that they might be on. And if you suffer from mental health, first of all, I want to tell you, it's okay to not be okay. You should not have to suffer in silence. You should not have to deal with it alone. There's nothing wrong with admitting you have some mental health challenges. We all do. So reach out to your support network. But I know a lot of people don't feel they have one, because that's just a sad state of things. So in chat, you can look at a list of numbers. You can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There will be a professional on the other end of the line who can be the lifeline you need and can be that support network that you may not have, in day-to-day life. So please use those numbers. And if you're not in the U.S., because I know we have non-U.S. viewers, find a helpline.com. Put in your country of origin, and you can find out what your support lines are for your country. And if you're watching this on YouTube where, you don't get to see all the chat, find a helpline.com. You can put in the U.S. even and get the support network in the U.S. So please, everybody, take care of yourself. And mental health is health, and we want you to be around for a while. And since my wife is not here, I'm going to go into her portion of it. Please get your vaccinations. The fact that polio is making a comeback is horrifying. We almost had that beat, and now the stupid is running rampant. So please get your damn vaccines. And please make sure you're registered to vote. All elections are important, but it seems here they're getting more and more important to every election. Not just national elections, but your local elections, they are just as important. Just like I know this is going to be a presidential year, but even the non-presidential year is important. And please verify that you have not been purged from the voter rolls. There has been a number of places that have been purging people. Make sure that you're not one of them. And I'm not one who tells you who to vote for, but I will say, look at which one wants to ban books, which ones are trying to ban ideas, which one are trying to make American citizens, certain subsets of them, second-class people. That is the road to fascism. And there's only one group who's actively banning books. Vote against them. That is the first step of fascism. Textbook, which is ironic when they're banning books. But I guess they don't want you to know that. So please, everybody, fuck Putin. May the Ukraine continue to kick the shit out of Putin. I feel bad for the Russian people, but fuck Putin. That's all I got to say on that. So good night, everybody. And I do thank you for coming, and I thank the players for this amazing season. We'll have to see when season 2 is, don't we? And since Ravnos Archon can't do Dune, he might want to start thinking about his casting call for Mage, huh? I'm just saying.
I've been working on the story, so it's coming.
Good night, everybody.